All right, good morning, everybody. Thanks for hanging out with me. Welcome to Home Church, a place where you're loved and there's a spot for you at the table. Today, we're going to continue our discovery of hope through the message of Jesus Christ. This has been super fun. This has been exciting to me in a world where everything is going wrong, where everything is backwards, everything is anti-God, everything right is wrong and wrong is right, and we're all in this constant state of trying to figure things out, trying to figure out who to trust, how to trust, who to love, how to love. Like, it is very confusing at times, and it is a state of constant conflict. We need hope, man. We need hope. We need the hope of Jesus. We need the hope of the message. As Christians, this is what we are called to do. And no matter how you found me, thanks for hanging out with me first. Thanks for finding Home Church. Whether you are far from Jesus, whether you have a relationship with him, whether you are into church, turned off from church, absolutely hate what that stands for, you can be loved here. There's a spot for you here. We want to walk alongside of you. But even whether you're Christian or not, it doesn't make me a weather person, because I can go outside and see that clouds are rolling in and say it's probably going to rain soon, or step outside in southern Louisiana and say it's going to be hot today. No, couillon, you can just read the weather. We can look around us and tell, like, there's famines, there's wars, there's rumors, there's conflict, there's turmoil, there's trauma, there's stress, there's anxiety, constant battle of keeping up, of achieving. Like, it's just everywhere. It's just in all layers. That's what a good story has, right? Good story has all kinds of great layers. I'm a nerd, okay? Just at my heart, I'm an absolute nerd. Nathan, the person, happens to be called by God to preach, and I love, like, leadership. I love all that stuff. But in my just foundations of how I grew up, I'm a nerd at heart. I'm just absolute, just nerdy nerd. And because of that, I like wrestling. I blame my grandma. She used to watch it when I was a kid, totally got me into it. And then my poor wife was into it, and then we got into it, and then our kids got into it, and we still sort of watch and kind of, because there's something about the stories. Like, I love athletes. I love sports. I love being athletic, moving my body, like competing. And it is, wrestling is this weird blend of both athletic ability and telling a story, both a story with your words, but also a story with your body. And really great stories have multiple layers to it. I love watching shows with my wife. We were watching a show the other night, and I told her, I was like, you don't like that character, do you? She's like, nope, I don't trust them. How'd you know? I was like, because I've been around my wife long enough, I can tell when she doesn't like somebody. And the story that we're going to unpack today, man, it's got all kinds of layers. I feel like I really could spend weeks just sort of unpacking the story that happens in Matthew chapter 11. It is full of all kinds of layers. Here's a little bit of the backstory. First, Jesus finds out that his good friend Lazarus is sick. Message is sent to him, and he says, hey, don't worry about it. This doesn't lead to death. This actually is happening for the glory of God. He hangs out where he is. He doesn't come immediately. He doesn't come see his friend immediately. Hangs out where he is for 2 more days, and Lazarus passes away. Disciples know if we go back, they're going to absolutely kill you. We probably shouldn't go back. Hey, he's sleeping. Don't worry about it, Jesus. He's sleeping. That's good. It's good to sleep. He's going to feel better when he wakes up. This is a good sign. Don't go back. They're going to kill you. We don't want it. We're not ready for that. And he's like, no. Y'all, listen, I'm going to say there's a real plain. Jesus is constantly trying to make it plain. He's sort of like making you earn it a little bit, right? He likes to make us earn it. When you read the stories of Jesus, constantly saying, those with ears, let them hear. They got to seek this out. There's some motive, some effort, some energy is going to be put into this. And he says, listen, he's dead. All right, we got to go back. And they were like, all right, this is it. This is it. We're all going to go back. We're all going to die with him. This is it. And this is how we're all going to die. And so they're ready to go. And that's where we're going to pick up some of the story here. Jesus is actually like, listen, just chill out, folks. Like, I got this, all right? When it's daylight, we go to work. And it's daylight right now. And we're going to go to work. I want to read from Matthew. We're going to read the whole story. So I encourage you to go back. Read Matthew chapter 11. It's going to take you like 10 minutes. All right? It doesn't take very long. It's a very short chapter. But the story, think about the story and the layers that are in here. We're going to hop around. I'm not going to read all of it right now on the screen, though. We're going to read Matthew chapter 11, verse 11 through 16. I'm going to put it on the screen, and we're going to read this one together. And let's unpack it. So Matthew chapter 11, 11 through 16. After saying these things, he said to them, our friend Lazarus has fallen asleep, but I go to awaken him. Disciples said to him, excuse me, Lord, if he has fallen asleep, he'll recover. This is a good thing. Yeah, that's awesome. Now Jesus had spoken of his death, but they thought that he meant taking a rest and sleep. So Jesus told them plainly, Lazarus has died. And for your sake, I'm glad that I was not there, so that you may believe, but let us go to him. So Thomas, called the twin, said to his fellow disciples, let us also go, so that we may die with him. They're ready to go. They're ready to die with their buddy Jesus. And it is one of the many layers that we see throughout this story. Jesus takes off. He goes over there and he shows up and he's a bit off, and they hear that he is just right down the road. Martha goes to run to him. Matter of fact, the Bible says this is Martha, her sister Mary, who's the one who wiped Jesus's feet with her tears. And Martha is the one that he loved. He loves all of this family. He is deeply invested. These were his friends. These were his family. He was connected to these people. And Martha wants to believe. She goes running. And she's like, if you would have been here, like if you would have showed up when we sent you the message, you could have healed him. We've watched you heal him. But Martha can't move past the ifs. Martha's stuck. If you would have. And Jesus is like, he's going to raise again. She's like, yeah. I know one day you're the resurrection. I believe it. He's going to live again in the afterlife. But man, if you'd have been here 2 days ago, he'd still be alive here. And like, not only would he be in the resurrection, but he'd still be my brother. He'd be here now. And just like, no, like, just believe. And Mary is completely broken. This is a woman that has experienced some stuff in her life. She's just completely broken. This is the woman that wiped his feet with her tears. She was worshiping and experiencing this man, Jesus, and the healing that he brought into her broken life, that she wept on his feet, an offering of brokenness. There is something, I apologize for clearing my throat like that. It's allergies are terrible right now, but there's something about just being completely broken, absolutely broken, and giving an offering of brokenness, of tears. And she wept and wiped his feet. Now here she finds herself broken again, and grief can absolutely be something that wrecks our lives. Grief is something that can pull us far away from our normal, natural selves. It makes us unplug from those that we love. It makes us unplug from the things that we love. It completely changes the makeup of who we are. Grief is tough, and this is a story with layers and layers of grief. Jesus himself was even moved to tears. We get the Bible's shortest message right here. Jesus wept. He is moved by the emotions that he's sending around him. What has you grieving? What has broken you? What has brought you to a place where you are not your normal, natural self? Because this is a layer that Jesus wants you to experience healing in. Jesus shows up on the scene, and he is surrounded by grief. He is surrounded by unbelief. Matter of fact, 33 through 37, I want to read. I'm not going to put this one on the screen, but when Jesus saw her weeping, and the Jews had come to her also weeping, he was deeply moved in his spirit and greatly troubled. Jesus cares about you. He absolutely cares about you. There's nothing that he doesn't. He is moved by your brokenness. He is moved when you are emotional, when you are vulnerable and open. He is moved to you. He was greatly troubled and said, where have you laid him? They said, Lord, come and see. And Jesus wept. So the Jews said, see how he loved him. But some of them said, could not he who opened the eyes of the blind man also kept this man from dying? Grief has a way of just making us not believe. Like, I can't, what if? Couldn't he have done this? Why did he do this? He doesn't always share the answers. He doesn't always let us know the answers to the test. He doesn't always let us see behind the curtain. And beyond the layers in this story of grief, there's also this layer of belief. They struggled. They wanted to believe. They understood who he was. They understood what he was about. They seen him do miracles. They knew that he loved Lazarus. Mary had experienced him in such a way that her brokenness had been healed. She had been changed. Martha was this innocent person who just wanted to believe, knew that Jesus was awesome, and yet they struggled. Their belief system was keeping them from moving forward. Their belief system was for the future, but for the now, it was moving Jesus to a place where he was moved by their emotions. The second layer that Jesus wants to heal in all of our lives is our belief system. What do you believe in? What is your hope in? Man, if you're putting your hope in the government, in politicians, in laws, You're just going to ride that wave of CN News to Fox News to whatever you get your belief system from, to books, to leaders. We are all flawed humans trying to figure this thing out. Man, our belief system's got to be in something way more secure than that. Is it in science? I mean, science is constantly changing. We're constantly figuring out things that we thought we knew that are not what we thought we knew. They're the opposite of what we thought we knew. It's constantly flowing, and knowledge is changing, and things are changing, and the wind blows a different way today. You can't do that or say that or think that, or this is supposed to be this other thing. And it's just, man, what is your belief system secure in? Because Jesus wants to heal that belief system. He's trying to help all of these people who are deep into grief, who are deep into what ifs, to know that, man, if you put your belief in me, I can heal you completely. I want to put this one on the screen. Matthew chapter 11, 39 and 40. And Jesus said, take away the stone. And Martha, she wants to believe. She's like, yo, he's going to stink. You can hear the murmurings in the crowd. Like, what'd he say? If it's today, the phones are out. They're recording. It's like, whoa, wait a second. This guy just said, roll away the stone. It's not going to smell great, Jesus. This is going to be really tough. We're really just like trying to grieve for our brother here. And he's like, did I not tell you that if you believe, you would see the glory of God? Constantly trying to heal their belief system. He's constantly trying to help them move forward in this idea that this is over. When he said these things, 43, he cried out with a loud voice, Lazarus, come out. And the man who had died came out, his hands and his feet bound with linen strips, and his face wrapped with a cloth. Jesus said to them, unbind him and let him go. Gets me every time. How many of us are walking around with all of these bondages in our lives? Man, we're just wrapped. We are wrapped with social media. We are wrapped with titles. We are wrapped with the pursuit of happiness. We are wrapped with this idea that I'm always supposed to be happy. I'm always supposed to be achieving. Things should be easy, or things should be comfortable. We are just wrapped with the bondages of expectations. And Jesus is like, man, I want to unbind you. I want to let you go. I want to let you be free. Don't you want to experience freedom? Don't you want to experience being let go from all these expectations, from all this heaviness that we're constantly carrying around? Some of us are carrying around the weights of everyone around us. We're the foundation of our family. We're the rock. We're solid. Everybody comes to us and we help them. We carry their burdens. We listen to them. We talk them off the ledge. We're constantly bombarded by the pressures and the stresses and the anxieties of everyone around us. Man, wouldn't it be good to be set free from that stuff? Wouldn't it be good to be loosed from all of those things? Jesus wants to heal us from our bondages. Maybe it's something else. Maybe it's something that I've tied my life to. It's an addiction. It's something that I constantly find myself doing. The things I don't want to be this. I don't want to do this, but I'm just tied. I'm bound by this. This man was resurrected out of his own tomb, and yet he was still bound. There's so many of us Christians that, and we've experienced Jesus. He's healed our brokenness. He's brought us to a place where life is pretty good, but man, there's still these bondages. There's still these things that keep us wrapped up. They keep us distracted and confused. And Jesus wants you to know one of the layers of this story is I want to completely heal you. I want to set you free from those bondages. I want to go back to Matthew chapter 11 for the last one. What I think is the absolute main point of this entire thing. It's part of the scripture that I kept going back to, of like, why did he continue to say these things? I want to go back to it. It says, after saying these things, he says, our friend Lazarus has fallen asleep. They were like, oh, that's awesome. He's going to recover. It's like, no. They've died. Verse 15, and for your sake, I am glad that I was not there, so that you may believe. For your sake, I was glad that I was not there, so that you may believe. One of the biggest layers that Jesus is constantly breaking in the Bible. He's constantly breaking the systems, the strategies, the techniques, the standards, the traditions, is our mindset. Jesus wants to heal your mindset. He allowed these things to happen. He stayed at 2 extra days. He worked through grief. He worked through this family that he absolutely loved, that had already experienced his healing on a variety of different layers. Also that his disciples, so that the 12 people that followed him, that heard his stories, that seen his miracles, so that they could see and believe, their mindset could be completely shifted from not what's to come, for not afterlife, but for the experiences that you and I can experience right here, right now. Whether it's a real death and grief that we are unpacking and working our way through, that every day gets a little bit easier, a little bit more normal, or whether it's things that have died off in our lives that people can't see. Our hope is dead. Our outlook on life is dead. It's constantly negative. We are bombarded by the negative. We are bombarded by bad energy. We are bombarded by the things that are happening in the world around us. Whatever it is for you, I want you to know that Jesus is coming back soon. He is absolutely coming back soon, and he is coming back for his bride. And he offers you and I healing for all of our different layers. This is the thing about that story that absolutely gets me every time. It is the underlying foundation of Christianity, and that is life away from Jesus is death. It's death every single time. There is a price to sin. There is a price to doing wrong. There is a price to be paid, and that price is death. There's always justice, and justice for that is death. But life with Jesus is resurrection. And not just resurrection of life, but resurrection of all things, of our mindset, of our thought process, of the bondages that we've placed in our lives. Life with Jesus is resurrection of all things, and that is the hope of a life with Jesus. That is the hope of this message. And I want you to know that if you need somebody to walk alongside of you, you want somebody to come along your journey, to support you, to point you towards what Jesus is doing in your own life, you want to experience this healing, you want to walk in this hope, all of us should want to walk in this hope. It's the beautiful story, the beautiful message of the gospel that life in Jesus, with Jesus, is life that is resurrected. Life away from him, man, it's death. It's down. It's never going to work. It's never going to be what we want. Always going to be lacking. Just ends in nonsense. There is a life that you and I can have. And if you're looking for that, we've got people here in chat. You can reach out to our website. We'll walk alongside of you. We want to hear your story. We're connected on all social media. Whatever we got to do, we are easy to find. We are not hiding. Just like Jesus, we have not been lost. We're easy to find, and we are here to serve you and to walk alongside of you. This world is tough. Talking to a friend just this morning, there's this constant pressure, this constant things that are trying to rob us of our peace, trying to rob us of our happiness, trying to rob us of fulfillment, purpose, trying to distract us from the things that ultimately matter. That is a life of service to those around us. And Jesus, in this story that he gives us in Matthew chapter 11, exposes us to a complicated story with all kinds of layers, with all kinds of people that are trying to figure things out, trying to walk through this complicated thing called life. And every single layer he's wanting to heal us from. And wherever your story is written, whether you got to write some of it and some of it was already written before you had a chance to do some writing, our experiences in our childhood shape us in ways that oftentimes we're not even aware of how it shaped us. Those experiences in our teenage years when we are so open and sort of naive and open to be influenced have shaped how we interact with the world around us. There is a God, and that God is named Jesus, and he is coming back for his bride soon. He is coming back for his people soon, and he offers us in this moment healing in all of the different layers. I want you to experience healing because I've experienced him. But he doesn't just want the top layer. He's not just interested in the outwardly layer. That may be a part of it. That is not what he is after. He's after the heart, the motive, the foundation, the piece that is really who you are. He's looking to heal that. So if you're carrying some things, I offer you to lay them down at his feet today. To come to him. To just say, hey, man, I don't know what any of this stuff means. Listen, I just know that I'm tired of doing this. And sometimes life has a way of teaching us maybe not what to do, maybe not where we want to go. We don't have all that figured out. That's much more complicated. But man, I know what I'm tired of doing. I know what I'm sick of doing. I'm sick of doing this. Tired of being tired of being sick, tired of carrying all this stuff all the time. And give it to him. He wants to heal you from all those layers, starting with our mindset. Let me pray. Father, I thank you for your message of hope, a life with Jesus, a resurrected life, a life of resurrection that brings us healing on all fronts. If your message has moved us today, Father, I pray that we would seek after you. If this has moved you today, if you are looking of like, what do I say? How do I start? How do I even get the first words out of my mind? Simply do this. Father, I love you. Jesus, I invite you into my life. I open up my heart. Come into me and heal me completely. Heal my mind, my heart, my spirit. Let me experience a resurrected life through Jesus Christ. I pray, Father, that you would do that work, that you would finish that work, that your word would not return void. Your word is powerful. An experience with Jesus is powerful. I pray that you would touch your people today, draw us closer to you, and save us from our sins, from this world, and redeem our lives through a resurrected life in Jesus. Amen. I pray that this helps you today. I love you. Home Church, we're a community of home-based churches that are empowering leaders to gather their circle, grow in their relationship with God and with each other. And we'd love for you to come be a part of this community, of this family. If you're looking for something different, something that just connects a little bit differently, a little bit more personally, a little bit different layer, and you're here in the New Orleans area, come enjoy a meal. Come hang out with us. Man, you will not be disappointed. You're going to meet some really great people. You're going to get some really amazing food in you. We're going to enjoy some worship together, and we're just going to unpack the word. We're going to walk it out. And a lot of times we got puppies running around the house. We got 2-year-olds running around the house. We got all kinds of things, but man, we just work our way through it because this is real life, and we really want to walk this alongside of you. Think about coming to be a part of the family here. YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. I just want you to know that you are loved. You matter. There's a spot for you here on the table. Cannot wait to see you next time. God bless.
HomeChurch217.com. Smash that like and subscribe.